All right, what is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, report again for another list build video. We are going to go over a lot of the IGs mostly, and we're going to involve Dan in one of them, and then just the IGs by themselves, just to kind of test out some ideas, because I believe that the IG droids benefit from getting orders, and so you're trying to give them orders, in my opinion, for the most part. And I think they're great. I think, with the range 4 and range 3 guns, and with, Arsenal and or Gunslinger, and then with the bounty AI with, keeping suppressive on one of the guns, or not on one of the guns, but, you know, well, yeah, I'll have to look at it again. But the whole game, no matter who you shoot, you're either going to gain that Pierce 1 or suppressive, which can be coming in handy when, deciding if you're playing a list and or condition that doesn't allow you to remove suppression tokens and or, war weary or hostile environment. Those two can, prevent either taking off suppression or panicking if you're not within that range 1, maybe range 2 if they have not commanding presence, but inspiring presence. Then suppressive might be the way to go, because that would be easier. And especially with IG's, one pip where he can, not gunsling, but shoot every enemy at range 2, then having suppressive on that will do really well. I mean, having Pierce on that's going to do even better, maybe even Pierce 2. But yeah, we'll kind of go into it and talk a little bit about the few different list ideas and concepts of stuff that they do have. So let's just kind of get into it. So let's kind of look with, double bounty for the rebels. So I've already kind of made lists for everybody. They are going to be red player lists for the most part, but, you can take away things. I've just kind of put what I think most of these units benefit from having. If you need to strip some things, to cut the fat, then fine. That'd be great. Now I'm going to I always leave the links to the list below, and hopefully you guys will, test it out, play them, or if you like them, you're welcome to use them. Also, if you do, let me know in the Discord if you do, because that'd be awesome. Because, seeing people use these lists, and if they work and maybe some tweaks, people will be able to read and it will go a lot better. So we've definitely changed up the Discord a little bit. We've added so much, especially with the TTS, the hobby, the Shadow Collective, all of the talk stuff on here, the Cantina, where you're just, talking in general. There's a lot of stuff that, people can talk about. I think it's a great place. It's definitely building. Feel free to just jump in online whenever you want to. We've definitely gained a lot of people, and it's already up to like 44. So it's growing. That's fantastic. So I appreciate you guys for joining in. Just keep doing it. If I can keep growing, I plan on trying to do some giveaways in the future, just to, grow the channel and hopefully, do some TTS streaming or whatever you guys want. Just let me know what you guys are interested in. Kind of want to keep coming out with breakdown videos and or unit list ideas and talking about the different, things that people are playing and are doing. And yeah, so also, if you haven't already, you can go ahead and head to theburnacademy.com and subscribe for $15 a month to grab, workout programs that are all 3-month long programs, except for the corrective exercise, which is just a corrective exercise program to get you back on your feet if you've had either knee issues, back issues, or hip issues, or shoulder issues. So if you've had any of those, we'll take care of you. If you're new to working out, you've definitely got a plan, so you don't have to worry about, messing up or, trying to find a plan. Everything is tailored to make you succeed in the gym, no matter what your goals are. And there's different videos to help you out. All right, so let's get into it. So with double bounty, we're just going to go with the rebel officer with underworld connections, mostly also because you'd be able to give out orders to IG-11, and because you've got 2 operative units that are bounty hunters and or rogues or mercenaries, whatever you want to call them, mercenaries mostly. You have 2 of them in the same rank, so you have to already bring underworld connections for that. Now that you have fulfilled the commander slot requirement, you can now add a second one, and it's not exceeding, so that's good. And I've added the pikes, and I'm going to tell you why I've added pikes in every single list so far right now, because there's finally, in my opinion, in a view, to get free tokens. There's finally a way to get free tokens on units that don't get an order. And for the most part, whenever you're taking cards or you're taking heroes or whoever, sometimes it's giving them orders themselves, or you're kind of limited on who can get the order. And, you know, that's fine and all, because some of those cards give out tokens to the people who did get orders. So now it's just the other people who didn't get orders are kind of left out there. This is just a great way to not have to worry about the pikes at all and allow them to just generate tokens themselves. And then you can use the rebel officer to give them not aims, sorry. I mean, if you wanted to give them electro binoculars, you could, but to give them more dodges, since, you know, this has vigilance. You know, I was hearing that at least Kyle said, especially that he, you know, vigilance is great on him, but, you know, I think improvised orders would probably be better, for the fact that if you do leave the rebel officer around, you know, can give out a ton of dodges, and you're going to be able to give out dodges with the pike capo. And for the most part, if people bring high velocity or a way to, like, you know, high velocity and or, you know, that'd be it really, then you wouldn't be able to spin those. But it just kind of depends on what you want. Right now, there is no other vigilance, so you'd be able to keep it. But yeah, you're just trying to watch out against high velocity units. And that's another reason why you've got a sniper here, and another reason why you've got the rebel veterans with offensive push to be able to get that aim when they need to, and then the Mark II medium blaster to fire support anything. So hopefully, all right, so let me just back that up. So I've already given out the orders and what I want command card wise. So I was going to go with Mechanical Carnage, which is IG 11's 1 pip, which he's going to lose Gunslinger, but when he declares an attack action during its activation, instead of attacking normally, like doing pew pew to one unit and pew pew to another unit, he's just going to attack once against every enemy at range 2. Now, it doesn't say 1 to 2. It just says 2 in the wording. So it kind of makes it to where you need to be at a perfect range to where you can use this. So you don't want to be too close. Obviously, you just don't want to be too far. But this gives you the chance that if you are at range 3-ish, you do a speed 2 move like normal, and then you can attack, in which case you'll, for the most part, pretty much be at range 2 of a lot of different units. And it says, you know, at range 2, not within. So as long as they're reaching that range 2, that's it. Now, with IG-11, I gave him seize the initiative and HQ uplink. So that way he definitely is getting an order for the most part every single time because of the bounty AI. So bounty AI, let's look at this real quick. So in the other video, when I was breaking them down and talking about them on like my just kind of like main reaction, first reaction, I should say, reading these kind of in my head came out a little bit differently. And the way that it was worded didn't occur to me to begin with. So thank you guys for the comments that you did leave down below. In which case, just a side note, go ahead, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and definitely join the Discord, like I was saying earlier, but definitely subscribe. That will help. So you're going to gain bounty, which is fantastic. Now this is a double bounty list, and AI, aim, and attack. So if you don't get an order, you're going to have to either take an aim or attack. And with the range 4 gun, you know, he's probably going to be able to attack. So I kind of want to avoid that as much as possible. So if you choose a commander as the target of bounty, your weapons, all of your weapons, gain Pierce 1. And it's just for the game. It's not just when you're shooting at the commander, it's all of your weapons for the whole game. It seems like after you've targeted a commander, gain Pierce 1, which is pretty cool because then your other weapon gains Pierce 2. If you choose an operative as the target of your bounty, your weapons gain suppressive, which can also be really good depending on what objectives you want. And if you're, you know, a red player or blue player, you can really pick the objectives. But for the most part, that's going to be really, really nice. And then you won't have to worry so much about if you're playing against a droid army, in my opinion, with this, because you do have big dice pools with the range 4 here, the 2 range 4s here, and then you've got the strike team kind of dishing out with the Pierce. I did leave a Pike foot soldiers unit with the Electro Whip and just the regular Pike soldier, because with the frag grenades, you're going to surge to crit if you use them. So you don't need the Pike Syndicate Capo for that surge to crit, in my opinion. Or sorry, for that surge to, or independent surge, I should say. You don't need the independent surge. You're going to have it when you attack anyway. And for the most part, you're probably seeing a lot of buses delivering a unit that is going to just destroy and wreck your gun line, and or you're possibly going to have a Jedi or Sith getting into your gun line as much as possible. So this unit, in my opinion, is kind of there for protection, and it's got the immobilize with the Electro Whip. So the immobilize 1 and suppressive, kind of slowing down your opponent. And you're going to have surge to crit when you roll, and you're only rolling red dice at that point. You're rolling 5 red dice, surge to crit at range 1 with the Electro Whip soldier. Or you can probably use the Pike Syndicate foot soldier here to throw the grenade for 1 red, have 2 more red, so 3 red at range 1, and then use the other Pike foot soldiers to use their black dice, which gives you 4 extra black dice in there. So that's 7, 4 black, 3 red, surge to crit. That's also not that bad, as far as I understand about the grenades. Now, the Rebel veterans, whenever they're going to get an order, they're going to get a dodge. So that's a good way for them to get a free token. The Pike Syndicate Capos, whenever they don't get an order, they get a dodge. So that's a great way to get free tokens. The Commando strike team, you're not getting a free token. For the most part, you're not moving. The IG-11, it's whenever he gets an order, he's not getting any tokens, because it's not like IG-88 whenever he has his 1 pip. Whenever you lay it down, or it might be his 2 pip, whenever you lay it down, that, it's permanent, that if he issues himself an order, he gets an aim. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then Din, I've equipped Din with what I usually want to equip him with. And I think, again, the Amban rifle is going to be the best, because it's better than the Beskar Spear, because Beskar Spear is only melee. At least with this one, you can shoot now into closed transports. You can shoot at the sniper strike teams and take out the guy behind cover. As long as you can see the target, you are good to go. That's all. As long as you can see it and you're not in melee. And also you can shoot at someone in melee, apparently. So the Amban rifle is just insanely awesome. Now, you're going to just do a speed 1 move. So again, you're staying out of combat for a little bit longer when you have to use this. So it takes both actions to basically just do a speed 1 move if you're not engaged, and then you can shoot. And, it's a hit or crit, not a surge. So you're really hoping for that hit or crit, and sometimes it's going to miss. So sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. I think it's a lot more worth it with the immobilized 2 and suppressive with the 3 black and the 2 black with the, vibro knife that he has. And then you might not need Din's flame projector, but that's possible that you might want it. And the reason I would take this, and then I think that this is a great anti-droid list, was mostly because of IG-11's mechanical carnage. And, being able to hit everyone at range 2, which can be a lot. And then the Whistling Birds is going to be able to target at least 3 units, and you're going to be able to roll a white dice for each mini in the unit. So you'd be able to do a lot of damage with that. Also, you have the Flame Projector, which you're going to get a red dice for each mini in the unit. So, man, you can do 1 action to basically hit 3 units and roll a white dice for every one of them, taking out maybe a few of them. And then, you've also got the flamethrower that you can shoot at everybody. Or not everybody, everyone in that unit, I should say, to do a lot more damage. And you're basically going to take out a ton of minis and leave the unit dwindled that turn. And so that's why I think it's going to be very awesome to have it. And then you have to keep the 3 pip. So I know that was a lot just for that double bounty. So I'm going to try to go a little bit faster. So we're going to go with IG and R2 and Leia. So Leia's got underworld connections. Even though I don't have an extra bounty hunter or mercenary, I do have an extra Pike Syndicate foot soldier. Again, giving myself an extra dodge or a unit that can take a dodge without getting an order. I give myself a rebel trooper with the DLT 20A. That is range 1 to 4, critical 1 with 2 black and a white. Super nice. Range 4. Now, you do have 2 Pike Syndicate foot soldiers with the range 4 as well here with a red and 2 black. So you've got tons of range 4 weapons. You've also got the CMO 93, which is also range 4 with 4 white. And then you've got a range 5 right here. So this is a great long range list. And I mean, IG-11 has range 4. Leia Organa has a 1 pip that has range 4 to infinity. So you can just stay back in the back and not have to worry about anything for the most part. And then he's also got bounty. So you've also got a little leg up just in case you do want to do, key positions or anything that is going to mostly leave you tied. Kind of like I said, key positions, maybe recover the supplies, possibly sabotage the motion evaporators for sure. And hostage exchange, I think would be the best ones for this. I have R2 in here with C3PO, and the reason being is I'm keeping them next to IG-11 because I want to keep IG-11 as alive as I can. Even though it has armor 1 and red dice, there's no surging. So R2 is going to be able to repair 2, capacity 2. So he's going to be able to take off 2 wounds twice, which is really fantastic. Hopefully avoiding the fact that you've got this card in here that says at the end of IG-11's activation, if he has 3 or more wounds, he has to perform attack with the following weapon. So hopefully you keep all of those, all of those wounds off of him. That's why I have R2 on there. And then again, I have C3PO to calculate the odds in case he needs an extra aim or a dodge. Now, you can keep Hunter on here. You don't have to keep Hunter on there. I don't think he needs any gear for the most part. I mean, you can give him HQ uplink if you wanted to, but that's just up to you. I think for the most part, he's going to be getting, I have underworld connections on there mostly to give IG-11 as many of the orders as I can. And there's also 2 cards that I think you can use. You can use technically R2's 3 pip to do a free speed 1 move. So in case he is getting kind of close or you want to get IG-11 close, you do have Leia's 2 pip, which allows her to, if she issues an order to a friendly trooper that is issued an order, it can perform a speed 1 move. So that's a great way to get him in a little bit closer. And if you were to get rid of her 3 pip and go with Smokescreen, when R2 issues an order to another friendly trooper unit, it may perform a speed 1 move. So again, if you're wanting to get IG-11 in as close as possible, especially to use that range 2 at some point, you can do all of that. What I did was somebody save our skin, or somebody has to save our skin, so that you give the order to Leia and you give it to IG-11, preventing the AI. And then after Leia goes, maybe handing out IG-11 a ton of dodges, you can get IG-11 into some better cover a little bit closer, or who is already a little bit closer, and just fire away. So that's why I have it. You're going to have to time these a little bit properly, but that's fine with me. And then not only do you have bounty, but you also have secret mission. So you have 2 ways to score an extra victory point with this. And with R2 complementing IG-11 with heals, I think it would both work. It'd be really nice. And you could be dishing out a ton of suppression, and Leia can just, absorb that suppression with the Inspire 2. You can, I've got improvised orders on the Pike Capo to be able to just make sure that you're drawing the right stuff that you need, since you've got a few different ranks here. And then you've got a lot of good core, all range 4. They're all pretty much stacked except for the Rebel veterans right here. And then you've got just a sniper strike team for that long range. So I think this would be a fun list with Leia just doing as many dodges as she can to everybody. And then R2 giving out some more aims and dodges. And then IG-11 having Hunter to get more aims. Everything he can do to give out as many tokens as possible in this list. It's 11 activation, 793. So you're getting kind of a good bid here. So, you know, you're welcome to kind of do whatever deployment you only have, you know, troopers. So why not do that one? If you do have the possibility, you do have all long range. So the long march wouldn't be that bad. And it is, you know, you want to stay in the back anyway. You know, hemmed in would be kind of okay. You don't want danger close. Major offensive would probably be fine. And you do have two ways. Like you might even want R2 over here with IG-11, or maybe you have to separate them. Maybe you try to fake them out, and knowing that, you know, R2 can heal, you kind of talk up that R2 can heal, put your IG-11 and then everyone over here, and then hopefully R2 can go there while everyone's distracted, and you forego the bounty and you forego IG-11, but you do get the extra victory point with R2 being able to put on wounds to C-3PO and then still hopefully making it to the end zone. So there's a lot there. Also, if you wanted to take vigilance and trade it with maybe lead by example to make sure you definitely get off all that suppression, then you can. That way, with your conditions, you can do hostile environment and, you know, a few other things if you needed to. But yeah, there's that one as well. Now, let's look at some Empire lists. We're going to go with, let's see. We're going to go with 2 IG units, and this is an 11 act list with Veers with Underworld connections, because he's going to try to give out orders to these guys, and or Gideon, who can hand out one to the shores, hopefully, to get a free aim. Now, there's no pikes in here, but there's 3 bikes, not pikes. There's the 2 shore troopers to make sure we get the 2 cheap mortars here to give us some extra units. And then you've got a stormtrooper with Gideon, who can increase the courage of the stormtroopers, and hopefully if you give him an order, he can coordinate. And again, you've got Veers in here to hand out 3 aims, maybe 2 to the IGs and 1 to the shores or to the storms if you need it to. And since I have 3 bikes, that's another reason why I wanted Veers, because I have focused on the kill, which is given to IG-88, and then it's permanent. So while IG-88 is performing an attack against a unit that is the target of a bounty keyword, that unit cannot spend tokens, surges, dodges, anything. Then, if IG-88 has wounds equal to or exceeding his wound threshold, he is not defeated until the end phase, and that is also permanent. So if he has 5 wounds, then no matter what, even if you did heal him, he's going to be defeated at the start of the end phase. So he stays alive, and hopefully that's why you want to give him this card, or always give him orders to keep him alive, or give him an order. So that way, if he is running low on hit points, if he has at least an order on the board, then, you know, he can do a lot. But even if he doesn't have an order, it's going to be fine, because he'll be defeated at the end phase, at the start of the end phase. So he'll still be able to go. He just won't be able to claim that bounty. But that's okay, because IG-11, I feel like, doesn't really need much. Honestly, if he gives himself an order, he's going to be getting an aim. If he doesn't, he gets a dodge. So maybe give him Hunter, just if he doesn't give himself an order, because with Mechanical Carnage, that's an order he's not getting. And with anti-capture protocols, that's an order he's probably not getting. But he could be getting 1, 2, 3, 4 orders at least. And then maybe you give standing orders to give him another one. Or you can give him HQ uplink. You know, kind of get rid of Gideon, get rid of a few points, and then just do the DLT, not really caring, and then maybe give him the HQ uplink. And then whenever you use General Veers' 3-pip, he can recover that HQ uplink and then use it again another time. That way, for the most part, he's always giving himself an order every single time. That's a really nice way to, I think, give himself aims consistently. Now, I think IG-88 desperately needs to have, with Arsenal 2, he desperately needs to have targeting scopes. All right. So, yeah. And again, the 3 bikes, they're just going to kind of do what they can. They're going to die, but they're going to try to do as much damage as possible to the other guys while the IGs go after those bounties. Okay. So that's a cool double IG 11 act bike list. Mostly just all a bunch of vehicle. So if you also, if you wanted, you could just get rid of maybe the stormtrooper there and give out the astromech maybe to two of these guys, because they're going to stay next to IG-11, and or if the speeder bikes come through. So there's something else. That's if you wanted astromechs and you didn't want a heavy. So there's a few different ways to do that, but at least you have underworld connections to give out your orders to these guys. So that way IG-88 is getting an order for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he'd be able to recover. So he'd use HQ uplink once, recover, so that's 5, and then be used another time for 6. So he'd always have an order every single time with Veers and the HQ uplink. After he uses it, maybe then you use Veers' 3-pip to allow him to recover it, giving him an order again still, but it's not giving himself an order. So he's not going to gain an aim from that. It's just he's getting an order. Okay. And yeah, there's that one. So yeah, don't get confused. I mean, I'm not trying to confuse you. If I did kind of accidentally say that, when he got an order, he'd get a name. It's whenever he gives himself that order. So he's still going to give himself an order for 1, 2, 3 of those times. And then with HQ uplink twice, it's 5 times. So he's giving himself an order 5 times. Okay. But he's going to have an order on him 6 times. So that's really, really nice. All right. And then I didn't have any pikes in that one again. Like I said, I just had pikes. Now let's look at the other Empire list. The double IG, the second one with pikes, not bikes. Again, Veers has underworld connections to give, IG-88 and IG-11 those orders to recover in case they need it. They've both got the HQ uplink again. And then I've got 2 pikes with the disruptor and the capo, another capo with the improvised orders. And then the 2 short troopers I have both have the heavy and the both mortars here just for extra activations, giving us 10 activations. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units that, So you have these 3 units that'll get a free dodge. And after you do focused on the kill, let's see. No, what was it? It was independent programming. Sorry, independent programming. Which when he issues himself an order, he gains an aim. He also gains independent dodge. So if he doesn't get an order, he does get a dodge. So again, you have at least those 4 units that are going to get a free token if they don't get an order. But you're giving most of your orders to at least the IG droids. And that's kind of what it's focused around. So do what you can to help them. Again, if you wanted to, you could probably get rid of some points to put not a medical droid, but the astromech on here to help the IGs. I mean, why not? That's 10 activations, though. All trooper units. They are all range 4. All of them. So you have the 2 mortars that are range 4, the 2 short troopers that have a range 4 weapon, the IG-11, IG-88 both have range 4. The disruptors have range 4. Your Veers and your capo are the only ones that have range 3. So for the most part, you can just hang out in the back. Again, if you are a red player, kind of let them come to you. Hopefully you don't have bombing run or what is it? Breakthrough. Yeah. But yeah, there's that one. And I think there was one more, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're going to go with the IG-11. Or no, IG-11 with, where is it? Come on, with the ATSD. Sorry. So this one's kind of a little bit slimmer, not so many upgrades. You do have the Imperial officer with the electric binoculars to hand out aims to IG-88 as much as possible. You don't have allies of convenience, so you're not giving IG-88. Sorry, you're not giving IG-88 any orders. You are giving them aims if possible. You're going to give your orders probably to the stormtroopers with Gideon, who can coordinate to the short troopers with the T-21B, who can coordinate to the mortar. And then you're getting a dodge on these guys. You have a strike team that you could possibly give an order to, and or the ATSD, which you can give an order to. You might not need mortar launcher. Maybe you give it linked targeting array so that when you do have to give it orders, it gets an aim. It does surge with the elite armor pilot. So all of those all the paint that you see is going to turn into something. So definitely worth it for that. Again, all of these guys are range 4. I did have to put the foot soldier instead of the capo in this one to make sure that it worked. If you didn't want that one and you didn't want the range 4, you wanted to make sure that you were going to be safe, kind of close range. What you could do is just change that for the whip and give yourself the grenades, giving you a 10-point bid with ATST and 10 activations. Yeah, I think that would be good. I used ploy and discretion in here because of the amount of mercenary units you do have. So if you did want ploy, you can give yourself, you can pick whatever order you want and then have it there whenever you need it instead of drawing from the order pool. So yeah, I like the ATST, and then the pikes getting their own dodges. Hopefully you're trying to give out the stormtrooper to coordinate, so keeping them kind of close. And the Imperial officer is trying to give IG-88 and aim almost every single time. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much all the different lists I have here and kind of what I would do with the IGs in these lists. And I think, if you wanted to, I think IG-88 would also be really good with, well, let's see. Okay, so let's clear and let's make. I didn't want to have to make another item list because I feel like I always do. But Iden is so good. So Iden, let's go ahead and give her that. And let's deck her out with everything that I usually like to deck her out with first. And then if it doesn't work, we'll start to trim some fat. Go ahead and go here. Give her the repeater just in case we want the sniper. Go with, the Inferno squad. You're going to have to attach Delt and Gideon and then maybe go with offensive push. Give yourself the Scout Trooper strike team to keep it low in points. You've got 4 activations that are only 324. So we can have 1 mercenary, and let's go with IG-88. Maybe give it Hunter, the HQ uplink, and targeting scopes because of the Arsenal 2 and the amount of white dice that you're rolling. And then let's see. And the reason I'm doing this is because the Inferno Squad with Del Miko, he's got the capacity to repair 2 once on a droid or vehicle. And this is a droid, so he'll be able to heal, as far as I know, he'll be able to heal 2 wounds just once. So that's another way to include IG-11 with Inferno Squad and Iden Versio. And I'm always going to go with Shore Troopers and a Mortar with Iden and Inferno Squad because of Gideon's coordinate. Okay, so he's going to be able to coordinate a core trooper, and then every time he coordinates, the shores get an aim. Whoa, would you look at that? And then what we could do with the storms is we can just keep some storms there. What else could we do? And I don't know if this would work, but we go here, and then we've met our 3 core requirement. Let's maybe try some pikes real quick, because with Iden's cards, it's either giving it to herself or the special forces. So let's see. Oh, nope, my bad, guys. So we have the pikes, and we give them maybe the disruptor. Let's see what 2 of them look like. Yeah, and that's 11 activations with improvised order 798. Again, if you want to bid, you can take away some of these things. But yeah, I mean, you've got Iden Versio, Inferno Squad, IG-88. So you've got 3 kind of large threats. You've got large dice pools with the pikes and get foot soldiers here and the shore troopers. Your stormtroopers are there, maybe just kind of going over objectives or, going in the background to kind of do what they need to. And Iden Versio. Yeah, so with the command cards, I always go with Pulse Scan for sure, which is only giving it to her. And if after you've given, IG-88 the permanent independent, it's going to gain a dodge, and then your pikes are all going to gain dodges. So they're all getting at least something. And then you have Iden, who's going to gain an aim and then a dodge and standby at the end. And then Inferno Squad is also going to gain a token. So it's just your strike teams and your shore troopers and your mortar and storms who are not going to get any kind of token, but pretty much everyone else is. So go with that one. And again, focused on the kill because I don't want my enemy who is in the bounty to be able to spend dodge tokens to get rid of the amount of hits that I'm getting. Just like Cad Bane being able to spend all those dodge tokens to cancel crits if he has situational awareness on him, you know, or if Boba Fett had a dodge with the independent dodge and situational awareness, how I build him, and with the red defense dice, you know, you want as many hits trying to go through as possible. So yeah, concussive blast, you know, range 1, 2, 5, red dice, blast, scatter, suppressive is superbly worth it, and you get to recover for free with that, which kind of makes these harder to choose from. But again, I would go with independent programming to make sure he gets the independent dodge, and every time he issues himself the order, he gets an aim, even though he's not going to be able to gain an aim here. He's or demoralize and or steady. This is a lot more important. Now, maybe I would go with Iden's 2-pip because it allows her to recover for free before the rally step. So it kind of bypasses the Blizzard Force 1-pip that doesn't allow them to remove suppression. So yeah, then Tactical Strike for sure. And, you know, there is no 3-pip specifically for IG. So Discretion could be good. And or Assault, because maybe you give the mortar, if you infiltrate, you give the mortar the commander token who's got courage 2 at that point, and you give it to the shores who are going to gain an aim. Maybe you give it to no, I would just go with Discretion, honestly, to give everyone dodges. Maybe you nominate the pike, and then so you choose 3 different units, and you give the 2 pike foot soldiers the dodges, and maybe IG-88 the extra dodge. So that's the 3 mercenary units that can gain the dodges, and then the Inferno Squad can gain a free token, and then the Pike Capo will gain a free dodge unless he wants to give it to the Pike foot soldiers, which will have pretty much 3. One of them will have 3 dodges at that point. They'll have independent dodge. Then you're going to give them a free dodge, which will give them each 2. And then if you were to give, you're not giving the Pike Capo that free dodge because you're giving the IG-11 or 88 that free dodge. And then whenever the independent would kick for this Capo, maybe you give it to the other ones, giving one of them 3 dodges. The other one will have 2. And then IG-88 will have 2 dodges. Yeah, super nice. 11 activations with Iden. So I think that this is super fun, in my opinion. All right, guys. That's mostly it. If you haven't already, go ahead and head to the Discord, start talking away, start doing what you can. Feel free to join and put whatever you want in there. And feel free to head to thebrainacademy.com to subscribe and definitely get fit in the gym. All right, guys, I will catch you later, and leave a comment below with what you liked and what you'd like to see next. Catch you later.